council in Cambridgeshire has been accused of tampering with an independent report into a 4-day working week trial. The accusation suggests that she edited the wording to put it into a more positive light. We've seen quite a lot of this recently with their local councils and things. The council has denied this allegation and defended their actions by saying there were clarifications to make confusing language clearer. So let's speak to the leader of the Conservative Group at South Cambridgeshire District Council, who is making this accusation. Heather, what is it exactly that you and others are accusing the council of doing here?
So what I can see from the report that I've read in full is very clearly negative comments being removed. Things like, we don't have to do perfect work, or that councillors sometimes need 3 responses and 3 emails, confusion, envy amongst staff as who has a Monday off and who has a Friday off. These things are not language clarifications. You know, it's not because, as has been said, the author was not a native English speaker. They are decisions. They are decisions taken to remove negative comments. And I think the Lib Dems really need to answer clearly for their actions in this.
The leader of the council, turns out, I've read in a report, that she was spending the last 3 years studying a PhD on the 4-day working week. So she was very much invested in this idea. And so the council has been used as her own little guinea pig.
So the chief executive is doing the thesis. The leader of the council, which is the Lib Dem leader, she knew that. So did the cabinet when they took decision. And for me, the fact that cabinet went to a vote, knowing there was conflict of interest, knowing everything, and they made the decision to put that person in charge, means that the Lib Dem cabinet is wholly accountable. I sit here as a councillor, leader of the opposition, elected in the same way they are by residents, and I have not been allowed a vote on this at all. So 80% of residents have had no vote. The Lib Dems have just run with this. They've pursued this. Residents are furious about it. Incidentally, they weren't consulted either. So I very much think that they need to open it out. They need to allow all councils a vote, and we need to stop this madness, because the genie's out the bottle now. It's going to be so hard to put back in. And the Lib Dems need to answer for the carnage and the chaos that is reigning here at the moment.
And I understand former Lib Dem councillor David Lentil resigned the whip partly in protest against this 4-day working week, because essentially the council aren't providing the standard of service to people who live in this area, because a 4-day working week may sound fantastic on paper. Academically, it's something that lots of academics are looking into and thinking about how fantastic it is, but perhaps in practice it's not delivering as well. And actually what's quite interesting is that quite a lot of the council staff are concerned by it.
Yeah, well, their job should be delivery of services for the local ratepayers,
well,
taxpayers.
Yeah, I mean, let me put this to you, because the District Council have said the clarifications suggested on the draft report were for 3 reasons. They made some confusing language clearer, as the researcher is not a native English speaker, to remove individual member quotes, which the council did not have permission to include in the report, and for brevity. Heather, are you saying that that is just nonsense?
It's my view, having read the report, that yes, that's not how I interpret it at all. And the thing about councillor comments not being included. Now, if a councillor has a comment and a view, then that should be public record. And this is what I'm saying about not allowing us all a say in this. Means that, you know, I thank you very much for the platform today. It's something that the Liberal Democrats are not allowing me to have in the council where I represent residents. And I think that I was on a panel the other day and it was sort of joked that the word Democrat is in their party title. What we're seeing right now is not democratic at all, and they need to be accountable for their actions.
Well, thank you very much indeed for your time. Heather Williams there, who is the leader of the Conservative Group at South Cambridgeshire District Council. It's worth noting, thank you for your time, it's worth noting, you know, Lee Rowley, of course he's a Conservative, he's Minister for Local Government, but he's, you know, he said the pilot deemed a success by academics. and, of course, the Liberal Democrats. But it's failed to meet its targets on all sorts of areas. And
so how can it be a success?
With waste on the streets.
And what's it got to do with academics? What have they got to do with it?
It's all these little pet projects, isn't it?
The measure is what the local people think. Are they getting services delivered in the way they're expected? They're not.
Yeah. And they get paid exactly the same for working 4 days. They don't even have to have compressed hours.
And let's not even go with what's happening in Whitehall in London, because civil servants are spending a lot of the time working from home and they're still getting the very lucrative London waiting allowance, which is supposed to help to defray the costs of travelling into London and the costs of buying your lunch in London. How come? Why are they allowed to keep that London waiting allowance? I don't get it.
Yeah, I've got no problem with businesses and councils trialling new ideas. But if there are concerns that actually they're twisting, reports like this, twisting the evidence,